Happy Health and Wellness Tuesday, everyone, and happy 2026. This is our first Tuesday in 2026. And like all the firsts in this year, it is quite exciting. There's a lot of amazing opportunities available to us at the start of the year. And just the vibe is different, right? So, again, Happy New Year. Now, for those of you that have been following our Health and Wellness Tuesdays, and for those watching live, especially if this live resonates with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear this today, especially if you know someone living overseas, relocating, or navigating healthcare in a new country. And especially if you know someone here in Fiji, in Suva. So today I want to share something very real and honestly a little vulnerable because health isn't just about supplements and routines. It's also about navigating fear, trust, and unfamiliar systems. Just before Christmas, I started having reverberating, and horrible pain on my tooth. And at first it was subtle, then it wasn't. The pain built up and I could feel it all through my mouth. It wasn't just where it initially started, it was like everywhere. And it kept me up. It kept me up at nights, and it was horrible. And if I'm being honest, I was really worried about seeing a dentist here in Fiji. If you're a trailing spouse or living overseas, you'll understand this feeling. You don't just think, I need help, and I'm gonna go to the first dentist that I see. You need to go to someone you trust. You need to know that it is a safe place. You need to know that the technology is good because, in fairness, a lot of things can go wrong with a filling, a tooth extraction, and we have heard horror stories, right? I grew up in the Philippines, and the Philippines is a third world country. And despite it being a third world country, because I grew up there, I knew the good doctors, I knew the good dentists, I knew who I could trust. But even growing up there made me realize that, sometimes you go to the wrong person. And the dentists that I've been through who weren't so great have left me really afraid of dentists. And so I've brought that with me through my travels, through my life as a trailing spouse and living overseas. And I'm just really hesitant to just go and see, a dentist just because it says that they're good. So I need referrals. I need to know that they're someone that I can trust with my health, with my teeth, with my, with my pain. So, but because of that same pain, I knew that I couldn't just delay it. I knew that I couldn't just, organize a trip back to Australia. I had to do my research. I had to pause and, encourage myself to just research properly. And that's when I found an amazing dentist in Seoul Dentistry. So I'm hoping I got that name right, but I will put their link to their clinic in my comments below. They had dentists who did their initial dentistry course here or studies here in Fiji, but then who did their master's and further studies in Korea. And we lived in Korea for 3.5 years. We know the standards of the schools there, and I just was excited about it. I knew that I would be okay. I looked at what their office looked like online. I also looked at the reviews, and I was just excited. I have to say that for anyone looking for a dentist, check that place out. I booked my checkup and procedure. Well, checkup first. I booked my checkup just after Christmas, before New Year, and I met with Dr. Jung, and I have to say he actually changed my mind. He changed my mind from the very first time that I actually sat down and talked to him. I am a real wimp. I am a real wimp when it comes to dentists. I really don't like getting fillings. The sound of the gadgets, the feel of the needle, they all scare me. So when he said it'll feel like a mosquito bite when I actually came back for my appointment, he actually was right. It really just felt like a mosquito bite. But before that appointment, the explanation of what he had to do, um, you know, the X-rays to be certain about what he had to do were all done. And I have to say, just the professionalism, the cleanliness of the clinic, the vibe, and his demeanor were all amazing, all professional, and just allowed me to relax and allowed me to just be myself. Anyway, so when I went there to have my filling done, he taught me how to relax was to wiggle my toes, and he was right. He reminded me when to breathe, because my goodness, when you're afraid, you forget to breathe. Like you clench your muscles, and the more you stress yourself, right? So I'm sharing this because sometimes the hardest part of healing isn't the treatment, it's getting past that fear, especially when you're living in a country that isn't your own. So if you're a trailing spouse, an expat, or living here in Fiji and feeling nervous about seeing a dentist, I genuinely know how you're feeling, and I recommend Soul Dentistry in Suva. And if you can ask for Dr. Jung, do that, because I saw Dr. Jung. He was calm, respectful, and incredibly professional. So anyway, this experience just reminded me that, you know what? Resilience isn't about being fearless. It's about taking the next right step, even when you're scared. Because, oh my gosh, I was stressed. I was scared. Anyway, so after my first appointment, it became very clear that it wasn't something I could just push through or treat on my own. For those of you that know me, I I am someone who actually does not like taking medications, does not like going to um doctors for just any reason. I actually go when I need to go. And I'm not an antibiotics person. Most of the time, when it comes to infections, illness, fever, I go straight to my herbal remedies. But I will also never pretend to be anything other than what I am. I'm a herbalist, a naturopath, a functional nutritionist, and an anti-aging coach. And because of that, I also know that when it's time to listen to the right expert, well, you need to listen. Normally, if I go to a doctor and they diagnose an infection, I'll say something like, thank you for the diagnosis. I'm going to use my herbs instead. But that's not arrogance, that's experience. I've treated myself successfully with herbs for things like the flu, chest infections, and fevers. But I also am very clear about this. If I don't know, then I don't know. And I won't pretend to know. I also make sure I never approach doctors from a place of my way is better than yours, because we sometimes have that tendency. If we think that, hold on, you don't know this, I know this, then shut up. But no, it's always best to do it with respect. Sometimes doctors will insist on me taking their medication, and I'll make a simple agreement with them. I'll just say, if in 3 days I can't get this fever done or can't get this infection sorted, then I'll take your prescription and come back. And honestly, that has worked for me for years. I've been doing that since I lived in Korea back in 2006. So I know what I'm saying. When you come back to them and you're rude, that doesn't help anyone. And that also cuts you from a practitioner that might be able to help you in the future, right? Because knowing your limitations is really important. If you need them for anything else and you've severed that relationship, then you're stuck with someone who might not be as good, right? So Anyway, in this case, me being traumatized by dentists, me being stressed about the whole pain and teeth and the procedure that might take place, I actually didn't want to try and figure things out myself. I was happy to listen. I knew that there was swelling in my gums. And I knew that if I did listen, the pain would just keep reverberating and he won't be able to do the procedure that has to be done because I can't put my fillings. He has to do that. And to be able to do that, the pain, the inflammation has to first be sorted. Okay. So anyway, I took my antibiotics. I was a good girl. I did feel, I didn't feel great. My stomach didn't feel great, but I went ahead. I continued on with the antibiotics. The swelling went down. The pain was eased off. And like literally within 3 days, we were able to do the procedure, which was great. So if you've ever done a root canal before, or if you are looking at doing a root canal, the cleaning of the infected tooth, the disinfecting of the tooth is really, really important because a lot of times a root canal is needed when the infection is bad and when it actually goes too close to the nerve or into the nerves. And the great thing was my doctor actually said, research it, learn about it, understand what we're going to do. So when when that disinfectant was put in my teeth, oh my God, I smelled like a swimming pool. It was horrible. And what was worse was because I was so conscious about where my tongue was supposed to be, I moved my tongue to the left when I realized that he was disinfecting. And oh my goodness, the horrible burning feeling in my throat was just crazy. So at that point, I did get asked to gargle. I drank clean water. It was so unpleasant. and but again, knowing what was going to happen was crucial. And again, thank you, Dr. Jung, because had you not said research it, I wouldn't have known what was happening. You did say that you were disinfecting, and but yeah, I don't think anything could have prepared me for that taste and that smell and that feel. But while I was doing that, Dr. Jung was very calm. And to be fair, he also um, kept me at ease. He was explaining throughout the gagging, the gagging and the gargling that I was doing. It was okay. That was part of the detox. Sorry, the disinfecting. It was like a bleach disinfectant. And, I thought, oh my God, bleach, something that I don't want in my system. Bleach is something, or chlorine is something I take off my tap water, right? With my Kangen machine because I don't want bleach in my system. I prefer going into the ocean to swim rather than in the pool, again, because of chlorine, because of not wanting that in my body. And that was just put in my mouth. So anyway, phase one of root canal was a cleaning of the infected tooth, temporary filling, and then we observe for a week. And then I go back for phase two, where a final fill is done. We observe if there was any dramas, if another temporary fill has to be done again, or he called it something like a redress. And in most cases, a crown has to be added. And I think in this case, it will have to be crowned because when I felt it with my tongue, that hole was huge. So, and I was also, he also explained that that tooth was now actually dead. The nerves were dead. The nerves were badly affected. And so I'm waiting for a phase two. But because of the bleach, the trauma, the antibiotics, before phase two happens, it is now time for detoxing, right? So I know where my specialty lies. I know where I need to come in to the picture and when I need to listen to someone else. And now that my antibiotics is finished, it is time for me to start supporting my body, my gut, my nervous system before that next dental procedure. So this is where natural medicine really shines. It's when it's used at the right time, in the right way. So if this resonates with you, stay with me and invite your friends to join us. Okay, let me just have a drink. Okay, so let me just check what's happening with our chat. Just keep sending your messages. Just keep posting them. I will respond to all of them. Okay, so right now I'm in that space between the faces. The first part of the root canal is done, and before phase 2 happens, it's time to support my body. So once I've finished my antibiotics, which happened a day after my procedure, the very first thing I focused on was probiotics. And here's why. Antibiotics don't just kill the bad bacteria, they also wipe out a lot of our good gut bacteria. That's why so many people feel bloated, queasy, off, or even nauseous after a course of antibiotics. And as I was explaining, my gut did not feel good during that time. I knew the antibiotics was going to fix my issues with my gum, with my teeth, with the pain, with the inflammation. So I was fine with it. But I also knew what it was doing to my gut microbiome. Our gut isn't just about digestion, it affects our immune system, our mood, our energy, and even how we feel. So once antibiotics are finished, rebuilding that gut flora is really important. You'll often hear people say stuff like, just take probiotics while you're on antibiotics. And sometimes that's okay, but sometimes it's not. In certain cases, probiotics taken at the same time can interfere with what your doctor is actually trying to do. So this is where timing really, really matters. I personally preferred waiting until the end of the antibiotic course is finished, especially in this case, because I knew that we had scheduled my first procedure to happen 3 days after my antibiotics. So I needed it to work. I needed to make sure that I didn't prolong that healing of my inflammation because that procedure had to happen. So always check with your practitioner or your doctor before going on to your probiotics. Check with a doctor that understands probiotics, okay? Because if they don't understand probiotics, then they're also not the right person to ask about this. And you know what? Not all doctors train in natural treatments, and probiotic is a natural treatment. I hope my dog barking is not too disruptive. Again, my apologies if it is. That's the hazards of working from home. Anyway, okay, so again, always check, okay? You don't lose anything by checking because the goal is to work with the treatment, not against your treatment, okay? All right. So once my gut support was in place, the next phase was rebuilding. During the antibiotics, I actually couldn't take my usual vitamins. I was on 2 antibiotics, Flagyl and Amoxil. And I also used an anti-inflammatory when needed. And during that time, that 5-day period before the procedure and after the procedure, or just right after the procedure, I was on um, what was that? Advil. And because of all those medicines, I really couldn't put in my vitamins. Now, another thing that very few people realize is that you can't take your vitamins at the same time as your medications. You can't take your herbs at the same time as your vitamins and medications. Okay, so you need to understand how each of the things that you put in your body actually work and if they work against each other or if they work to support each other, okay? And herbs, vitamins, and medications definitely don't work together. So I didn't rush the supplements. I decided to wait for the procedure to be finished, the antibiotics to be finished, the painkiller to be finished, and now I am back. I am back. I am back to my herbs. So I am now back to high dose vitamin C because I want to support my immune system. I want tissue healing. Okay. I am back on my B complex to support the nervous system and energy. I am back on fish oils for inflammation and cellular repair. I'm also back to my Ukon turmeric capsules, which are amazing, powerful antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and amazing liver support capsules. Also, aside from my vitamins, as you know me, I always create my herbal remedies. And as I said earlier, it is time for a detox. So I created my detox herbal remedy. This was really important because during a root canal, disinfectants are used. And yes, that includes this bleach-based solution. The body needs to support the process to eliminate that gently, right? The herbs that I used in this situation, I chose intentionally, not just for the detox, but also to calm my nervous system. Because after that stressful physical experience, although I wasn't as stressed as I usually am in a dentist's chair, that whole experience still gives your body stress, right? The drilling that still goes through, the injection, the bleach that went into my throat, all that actually causes stress in the body. So 5 herbs that I've chosen to use for my extract: milk thistle to support liver detoxification and regeneration. Milk thistle is actually my favorite liver detoxifier. Burdock root to assist with blood and lymphatic cleansing. Dandelion root, another favorite, which supports liver and kidney and elimination pathways. Lemon balm, which I love because not only does it taste really good and makes my mix taste better, but it also calms the nervous system and eases digestive tension. Chamomile is my 5th because chamomile soothes the gut and helps the body down-regulate stress. So even when we feel calm mentally and the body, and you think that you're not stressed, always remember that your body, your organs, your tissues can still experience a trauma and can retain the trauma in its tissue memory, okay? And so to support that and to support detoxification, we need to take the right herbs to detoxify our system, okay? All right. Now, this isn't about doing everything all at once. It's about doing the right thing at the right time. Antibiotics when needed, detox and rebuilding when appropriate, okay? And stopping and rebuilding in between, in my case, in between those 2 phases. And if you'd like to learn how to combine herbs safely, dosaging, understand timing, create your own detox remedies, our Herbalism course begins on the 17th of this month. That is a Saturday. And we will be putting out our registration link tomorrow, Wednesday. Okay, so watch this page and check out for that registration link. Otherwise, send a DM below and type registration link and I'll send you the registration link. Okay? All All right. But before we leave today, I want to leave you with something. I know that not everyone understands how to create herbs and create their own extracts. And instead of creating an extract, I want to leave you something really simple. And I call this the I survived the dentist tea. How about that, Renee? I survived the dentist tea. Because sometimes we need to, you know, just allow our bodies to heal with the simplest form of medicine, which is our tea. So tea is designed to give us the medicinal properties of our herbs, but in a gentler way. Okay? So this is exactly what this tea is for. It's a gentle support for your body after stress. Whether that stress came from antibiotics, a medical procedure, or a harsh detox, this is a great gentle reset tea. Okay? So the best part, you don't need any fancy or hard herbs to find. Most of this you can find either from your home, from your pantry, or from your local health food shop, or even your local grocery. So the tea is simple. This is mine. This is what I've created. I am just about to plunge this. Oops. Did I say a message? Okay, no. So I am just about to plunge it. That's my tea. Okay. So I'm going to tell you what is in my tea. Ooh, careful plunging. Okay. If you know, I've got a tea bag, tea bag in there. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I've put in my tea. Okay. So, in this tea, I put my chamomile. So chamomile is to calm the nervous system. Can you see that? Oops, it's disappearing. There. Chamomile is great for the nervous system. It is calming and yet also soothing for your digestion. Lemon balm is another herb. Oops. Okay, another herb. And I like lemon balm. Again, aside from the taste, it's a great support for the gut-brain connection. So we're taking that to actually ease the tension in our body. Dandelion root. This is dandelion. I haven't put my label. I really need to get that done. Oops. But hey, mind you, I do have the name dandelion on top. As you can see, I reuse my bottles. There's like a yarrow written there. I used it for yarrow previously, then now I use it for dandelion. And dandelion is an amazing herb and an easy one to find, especially if you know how to identify dandelion in your garden, because you can just pick it from your garden. Okay? And dandelion is a very good way to gently support liver detox pathways. And last but not the least is fresh ginger or fresh turmeric. Just a few slices of the fresh ginger or fresh turmeric to help digestion and reduce nausea. Now, those of you that know me know that I love this. This is my go-to. And my Kangen Ukon tea is, my Kangen Ukon tea is an amazing herb, because like ginger, it helps with digestion, it reduces nausea, but it's a great antioxidant as well. And because it's organic, again, all my herbs are organic. I don't use non-organic herbs. I know what's going inside my body. When you detoxify your system, you don't want to use any herbs that aren't organic. Now, if you don't have any of these, all you need to do is buy, again, fresh ginger. Go to the grocery and buy chamomile tea. lemon balm tea, dandelion tea. You can buy the tea bags, and then you can put that in your either your kettle, straight into your cup, or into your plunger, like I've done, and you can take that safely. Oops, I didn't realize this was a little bit wonky. There we go. Yeah, so you can take that. You can if you're using tea bags, then just put one tea bag each into your plunger. If you're using dried herbs, you can put half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of each herb into your plunger, and pour hot water. Make sure that you let it steep for about 10 minutes, then strain and sip slowly. Now, if you let it steep for longer, it actually is not harmful. It just sometimes becomes much stronger, and some people don't want it strong. Mind you, this tea, because I was preparing for this this live for Health and Wellness Tuesday, I've had this for, how long have we been on? For since when we started. Okay. So I think maybe 30, 45 minutes. So, and it's okay because I actually don't mind the taste. I don't put honey or any sweeteners, but if you want to put honey, honey is safe to actually add in this detox drink. Okay. Some also want to put some lemon, and that's okay too, because lemon is detoxifying. Okay. I love how it's still nice and warm, not boiling hot, because I can't drink anything hot, especially with this. But I actually don't like very hot drinks. I always prefer it slightly cooler, or not cool, not cold, but warm. Okay, so you can drink this once, twice, even 3 times a day. Just don't use it to replace your water. I still prefer having water. Have your 8 glasses of water throughout the day. So if you drinking your water means that you can only take your tea twice a day, then so be it. Have it twice a day. Okay, you don't have to have it with meals. But I would also say don't take it with your vitamins or your medications. Take it separately from those. And again, as I said, I'm done with my antibiotics, and that's why it's detox time for me. If I were taking my herbal extract, I can take my herbal extract and have my tea. In some cases, when the herbs in the extract and the tea are similar, I avoid taking them together. But in this case, it's only lemon balm, chamomile that are in this, because I'm using milk thistle for my extract. Am I using? That's right. It's milk thistle and no, I am using dandelion. Okay, so in that case, I wouldn't take them together. I am just about to make my herbal extract. I brought out all my herbs, and so once I get that done, I will take them separately from each other. Especially that this has steeped for quite some time. The longer it steeps, the more potent the tea is. All right. Okay. So now that we've done that, now that we've talked about the tea, and I've told you that you can take it once, twice, 3 times a day, it's okay. And this tea is actually safe for children because we don't have any harsh teas that are harsh herbs in this. It's only lemon balm, chamomile, and dandelion, as well as your ginger or your turmeric. So safe for everyone, safe for children, safe for adults, safe for the elderly. Okay. All right. Now, just a reminder, even when you think we're calm, the body still experiences stress. And so because of that, make sure that you keep this recipe of this tea, because although I call it I survived my dentist appointment tea, or I survived my dentist tea, it is actually a very good, very mild reset detox tea. Okay. It's a great wellness tea, not a replacement for medical care. And if you are pregnant, I would also make sure I don't drink too much of this. We don't usually give dandelion to pregnant women, or you can remove dandelion and then just have lemon balm, chamomile, and turmeric. But again, not too much turmeric and not too much ginger. Anyway, that being said, if you'd like to learn how to create your own blends safely, how to create your own extracts, your own tinctures, remember our herbalism course begins on the 17th of January. Make sure you check this page tomorrow, Wednesday, for the registration link. And with that, thank you for sharing this Health and Wellness Tuesday with me. Be gentle with your body. Trust the process. Trust the practitioner, especially if you've chosen a good one. And I'll see you soon. Have a great rest of your day and have an amazing, amazing 2026. Bye, everyone.